Good morning. Good morning. Make sure I'm check my mic. My mic sounds nice. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I'm your host, A.D. Walker, the pusher, the grower, the motivator. Make sure you share. Sharing is caring. All that and then some. Sorry, I'm really pushing to not be late, but it just keeps happening. I was here having a lot of thoughts about conversations today. Yeah, because this topic on this Freestyle Friday comes from my brother like no other, Kaneem, aka Lil Boosie, aka Come On Man, Come On Man. So real talk, that's about all I know from Lil Boosie. I don't know not near one of his songs. Like I said, like some of the artists, I probably heard it. I'm sure I've heard it. I just no clue. All right. Blessings, Lisa. Thank you for being here. So hang tight. We're gonna do our intro. Make sure you share. This is your opportunity to do some great stuff. Be right back after this.
You're watching the Brothers of Legacy. We don't stand out. We stand up.
What's up, y'all? Good morning. What's up, my peoples? Listen, real quick. I was having some trouble with my text messaging this morning, so bear with us. If you feel like I didn't get the notification through the text message, then I apologize. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. How you doing, my brothers?
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It is that. It is that.
Yes, it is. Appreciate you guys for being here. Another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I was thinking about something today. So happy Veterans Day for all my veterans out there. Before I get started,
yes,
thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service, and all those that are watching. Yes, indeed.
I almost could say that, but they kicked me out.
They get you out. They did you wrong. They did you wrong.
Yeah, they kicked me out.
So, it's a mission. Go ahead.
Did they
I don't think they really have a choice. You know, when I'm fighting the second day I'm in there.
That sounds like you kicked yourself out.
Well, I didn't want to go. I was willing to stay.
Wow.
But when I got into that fight, you know what I'm saying, and it was actually the first 2 days was cool.
Right.
It was that second day at night.
Right.
That when we had, because you know everybody take a shower. Well, you know, you was in the military. Everybody take a shower together. You know what I'm saying? And hey, it went down that night, and they dragged me out of there butt naked straight to the barracks. Hey, them MPs don't play either, boy.
Wow.
So that was it. I mean, I got a very long story, but this is Freestyle Friday, so we'll go.
He said a very long story. The little Filipino man is telling me don't eyeball him. He can start right there and go. That's it. That's all we need to know. That's all.
He can go all the way to learn the cadence and walking that mile to the galley and giving you 10, 15 minutes to eat, and then don't be at the back of the line, because if you're at the back of the line, you might not even get to drink nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was all good. I probably would have liked the military if they would have let me stay.
Wow. Wow. That's wild.
I'll be right back.
When I got on a plane, they sent me back on the bus.
I'm sorry.
Wait, you said you was in a plane?
I said I went out there on a plane.
Okay.
They sent me back on the bus.
Ah. Wow. Okay. Was that on your dime or they paid for that? They said, you need to
No, they paid for it. They said gave me a bus ticket and $116.
Gotcha. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks for coming. Thanks for showing up. Wow. That's interesting. That's interesting. You said 2 days. Wow.
2 days. 2 days.
Yes, TGI Friday again. What's up, Dr. Rollins? Happy Veterans Day. Yes, indeed. Happy Veterans Day. Yes. Greetings. Hey, Mama Corey. Seahawks to the plate. All right. We're going to let it go, Richard. We're going to let it go. Oh,
Richard. I guess Richard is a Seahawks fan.
I think so. I think so.
Seahawks will be in the playoffs, I believe.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. I am so proud.
As far as
I'm so proud of
doing
Geno Smith.
anything in the playoffs, I don't see that in their future.
Really?
Doing anything, not wild card, not first round. They won't win not one game playoff now.
It depends on who they play.
Yeah, and I'm saying whoever they play, they won't win.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think their defense will do just enough to keep them out of harm's way.
I don't get me wrong. I don't think Geno Smith gonna be able to live up to the hype that they're giving him now. Don't get me wrong, he's playing good now. And I saw him when he played in college.
Right.
And in West Virginia, he was a hype, but this ain't West Virginia.
Yeah, but I think the difference is he's grown.
Seahawks. She loves the Seahawks.
See, he's a grown man now.
No, my wife don't love no Seahawks. I don't even know why she put that up there. Girl, man.
So you saying your wife who just put that up said she don't really love Seahawks like that?
You need to delete that. You don't love no Seahawks, girl.
Delete. Oh man! All right, so
I done took you to the Houston, Texas, and NRG Stadium. You gonna talk about you love some Seahawks?
Ooh.
You ain't never been to no Seahawks Stadium.
Ooh.
You ain't never seen no Seahawks play in person. How dare you? Don't disrespect our household.
Not disrespect.
I love that.
Also.
I love that.
You're bringing the disrespect to the Curvy name. Oh man,
We don't root for no Seahawks.
I have reluctant Cowboys fans in the house.
Reluctant. Okay.
They say I'm a Cowboys fan because my daddy won't allow me to. We don't
allow you to
in
be
this house.
nothing
We don't
else.
have a choice.
As far as this house, we share.
won't allow you to
As
be
for
nothing
me
else.
and my house,
That's
we
right.
will cheer for the Cowboys.
Right.
No, for some reason she like Alabama. She's an Alabama fan, and I'm like, you know, we Longhorns around here. I don't even know why you saying that. You ain't even got no
Around these
Alabama
parts.
memorabilia. You know what I'm saying? Like, really?
She says she likes winners.
Oh.
I
I can't say nothing. I'm originally from the Big Ten, so
I can't really have a comeback when it comes to football.
Gotta take that.
But
Like,
when it
all
comes to baseball, when it comes to basketball,
right.
we
I
have
love winners.
we have tasted world championship
Uh-huh.
flavor. Just
Okay.
to let
Oh.
you know.
Okay.
in Houston,
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
you did.
All right. So today's question. Today we're talking about banana pudding.
Yes. It's that
Banana
nana. You got that
pudding.
nana pudding? Yes.
So the question is, from scratch or out the box? From
Scratch or out the box.
out the box.
I mean, do you
Pudding.
your
Box pudding.
banana sliced or do you like them mushy?
Sliced.
That just make it sound you like it mushy. Who likes mushy? Who like
just
name me
saying,
something
I'm
you like
just
nice
saying.
and mushy? You know. I mean, I guess grits. You like no one running like super hard, but mushy.
Yeah,
I didn't even like Gerber
I've
banana
had a
pudding.
lot of different ways, man.
All right.
But I got my own. Like I grew up with a certain type of flavor. Now the
Right.
whites make a good banana pudding, so that's for sure.
Wait, Richard, banana pudding? Don't
You
be
don't know
disrespectful,
about
Richard.
banana pudding?
Don't
They ain't
be
got that over there in the
disrespectful
UK.
over
What they
there.
do in the UK?
Richard banana pudding. So Miss Curvey says, out of the box with your own added touch. That's still out of the box. That's out of the box.
Still out of the box.
Still out of the box.
So her
What's
vote
up,
is
Jeff?
out of the box.
Out of the box. What's up, Jeff? Said, hey, morning, guys. Nothing do I like. Right. Would you like mushy? You see
Come
how he
on,
sold
Jeff.
you? He said, do you
I
want it
don't know
nice
if I
and
agree
fresh?
with that. There might be something I like mushy.
There you go.
So out of the, all right. So what's your Jeff? You like? So I guess you like it. not out of the box. All right. So Lil Boosie, aka Kaneen,
Yes, sir.
what is your preference, sir?
My preference is
Drum roll.
from scratch.
From scratch.
Yes.
Okay.
Make it custard and all that. I do like my banana sliced,
Okay.
and I prefer an abundance
Abundance.
of cookies.
Yes.
And if I could,
Right.
I would love to have browned meringue on top.
Not brown, but browned meringue on top. Like
Yes.
You
done
know, you
with
hit the,
fire.
Yes,
put the flame,
when
put the flame
that's
on
when
fire,
you
little
put
fire
meringue
on
there,
Yeah.
and you make that little peak at the top. Then you throw it in the oven, and then you put it on broil, and then it kind of like shh, and you then bring it on out.
Oh,
Let
you
it sit
want
down
that.
on the counter. So, man,
You want that kind that if you go to a restaurant, you paying like $30 for that joker. 'Cause they done hooked it up. like your meal was $20. Oh, you want that? That's $30.
Hey, my grandmother, man, she used to make banana pudding every holiday season.
Okay. She'll hook it up.
And that's how she did it, man. I would sit in the kitchen on my little stool and watch her make that banana pudding from scratch.
Wow.
And hey, that's how I learned how to do it, man. She would watch it. Hey, she get them egg yolks. She get that evaporated milk, add a little sugar. She get that double boiler. She
Right.
started making that custard.
Right.
I'm talking about whipping it, put a little
Making it
vanilla
sound good.
extract, a little
Yes.
banana extract. Get it.
Right.
Man, you talking about start layering the bottom of that bowl with them cookies, bananas, custard, cookies, bananas,
Man.
custard, cookies, banana, custard. Hey, man, that thing
Oh,
so
to
good.
the man in the back.
So Jeff said, I don't really like banana pudding, but Kaneem starting to convert me.
Hey, when you see it, I'm trying to tell you.
So Jeff, have you had it?
It has to be heavy on the cookies. I want banana pudding that you can eat with a fork.
That's what I'm talking about,
Wait,
Latrice.
you said what? You want banana pudding that you can eat with a
fork.
With a fork. Okay. So he said we got the same granny.
Yeah.
And I had the same seat in the kitchen. Right?
Yes. Hey,
Wow.
that thing be off the chain, boy. Then she had that little old, that mixer, put them egg whites in there and fluff them up.
Yeah.
Oh man, what you talking about?
Listen,
Banana pudding.
I'm guessing that's
today.
Reese. That must be Reese. He said banana pudding today. I don't do the kitchen thing. That's women's work. Really? You trying to just start a fight? Get out of here.
Hey,
All right.
He's keeping it real, man.
But
He said that's women's work. I love being in the kitchen, man.
it was way said, man. The way Kaneem going on. If it was a turd pie, I'm thinking I'm gonna get some.
Hey, Jeff, you got to paint that visual, brother.
Hey,
You
he
gotta
is
paint that
complimenting
picture.
your oration skills, man. I love it.
Oh man, yeah. Listen, Kaneem is the story master. He is the story master. He can hook a good good narrative up. So you guys out there, we're talking about banana pudding, talking about from scratch, and I want to get into how we grow up and how we see things. Some people probably like it from the box because they may have a story similar to Kaneem. I watched my mother, I watched my grandmother, make it from the box. And it may have been an economic thing, but it was like, yo, she hooked that thing up like it was fresh. Like she would do her work on it, kind of like Alicia said, put a little something in it, made it
No,
look good.
like I say, the wife now, she get down for her now. I'm not gonna slip on that now. It's good. I'm
Alicia,
just reminiscing about my granny.
Right. Alicia, I see that question, and I'm a plead the fifth for him. He's not going to even.
There's no plead. I already said
Listen,
my
hey.
piece.
Y'all missed it. It wasn't a question.
Okay. Oh, it's a statement.
That's a statement. There's no question mark at the end of her statement.
Okay.
What about my banana pudding?
Hey, Brian, worry about your household. Worry about your household. Don't be trying to put no ripples in my household. Worry about your household.
No, what? Here, I got you.
I said my piece. Yes, sweetie. Your banana pudding is the bomb. Yes.
There you go.
There it is.
I'm gonna get myself off. I'm gonna yield the time to you. Oh man!
It looked at me like she was being declarative.
That's right.
I got your back, Alicia. I got your back.
Oh man! But yeah, so I think about, I don't know. I'm late because I was really thinking about that, and the election, and just as far as who we are, and the things we see, the things we desire, the way we grew up. When you see life changing, because we miss things. Like for me in the whole school and how school is just done. My kids started going to school. I'm looking like, what are we doing now? Like, where's the textbooks? Where's the homework? So what'd you learn today? Why can't we both look at what you learned today? Just little things like that, and how things shift, and we get these ideas based on how we grew up. We feel like how we grew up in certain respects it functioned well. Everything could be tweaked. Everything needs a little adjustment, but certain ways of learning in school worked for us, and we feel like it's worked that way. And I think as we get older, moving into just life and politics, I think we see so much, and we're so connected to so much information. You understand what I'm saying? Some of it rivals how we grew up. Some of it just adds to or justifies, like, yeah, this is how we grew up. This is how we thought. And the reason I'm kind of going in the way is, you know, I don't know, like, we need a level of empathy and hearing other sides, right? And I get, because sometimes like, we need to hear other side, like, but they don't never hear us. You know, like, why am I going to listen to them? You know, and I get it because of what we see. But I feel like there are more keyboard thugs, you know, and more people.
Hold on, my bad. We're not talking about banana pudding no more, right?
We shifting a little bit. We shifting a little bit.
Like when you said keyboard thugs, I'm like, hold on.
And what I'm saying is, like, you know, and I wanted to start off with the banana pudding because when you mentioned it, yes. Oh, if you're watching, yeah, it's okay. You can jump in. Yes. But I feel like, you know, and we talked about this week. We talked about how we raised, you know, the opportunities in front of us and the people around us, how it shaped who we are. And, you know, like Kaneem, you said, because, well, how you grew up was more, I went blank there for a minute, from scratch banana pudding, right? Scratch banana pudding is what you remember as like delicious. But you said yesterday you've had out of the box banana pudding, and you've liked both of them.
Yeah, my wife, she make out of the box. I mean, she do the same process.
Okay.
But instead of custard, it's pudding.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
It's good.
So
okay.
It's still cookies.
What's up, Thomas?
Bananas, pudding.
Yes.
Cookies, bananas, pudding.
Right.
Cookies, bananas, pudding.
Right.
But one thing she put on top of hers is whipped cream.
Okay.
My grandmother would put meringue.
Okay. So
it's still good.
Right. I got you. And I think, and I'm speaking to that because sometimes we get too caught in the nuances or even want to try like out of the box. Some people, like, I've never been a banana pudding fan either.
What?
Like, now, listen, out of the box, no. Till my wife made it, and she made it from scratch. You know, we do whipped cream, but she does it from the egg white. You know,
that's meringue.
That's meringue.
Yeah, that's what's called meringue. Yeah, that's
meringue.
Thank you for clarity, because I just called it. I was like, oh, it's like whipped cream. so
I never knew that.
Right? Woo, not alone.
And I cook a lot, but I've never made meringue.
I learned that in cooking class in 7th grade.
Right.
Yeah, I took home economics in the 9th grade and didn't get that.
Remember home economics?
My grandmother was a bona fide certified baker.
Wow.
My mom was a bona fide certified baker.
And certified.
Right. she wasn't like a cook.
Yeah.
Thomas Cotton has on a Lakers cap.
You said you like winners.
Right.
Oh, slap in your face.
I'll be right back.
You slapping so hard, and mouth is wide open.
All I heard was you guys like winners. That's it.
So, you know, like in kind of this conversation of, you know, preferences and the things that you like, the things that you'll try. And like you said, Kaneem, you know, your biggest preference will be, you know, how your grandmother made the banana pudding.
Yes, sir.
But the way your wife make it is fine as well.
Sure, it's good.
I'm saying, and I think some of the nuances of our opinions, you know, what are your no-goes? What are the things that you are willing to kind of have conversations about? But I feel like it's hard to have a lot of these conversations because the way things are approached, you know, like if I come at Kaneem about a political situation in a hard way, like this is it, he ain't budging.
Oh Jesus!
Right? Yeah, I already knew it was coming.
Hey, Well, y'all ain't winners this year. Both y'all need to turn them hats backwards.
Hey, we are winners every year.
Legacy. You,
Oh,
you
Lord,
just
look,
hang
Jeff-
out,
Jeff
hang
too.
out for a little bit. Hang out for a little bit, and
Hey,
you'll
hey,
you'll
good
be able
morning,
to win
Philip.
again.
Morning, Philip.
Hey, if it wasn't for the bubble, y'all still be on a losing streak.
That's what you think, huh?
Some have said that, but you know what? I look at it from a different perspective.
Uh-oh.
When you get all the hoopla, home court versus visitors, and all that stuff out of the way, and it's just balling, we won.
We won.
Winners.
Winners.
Hey,
Listen,
I got to respect
when
it.
everybody
It's
was
in the
mentally
history
checking
book.
out, we were winners.
I got to
It
respect
ain't our
it.
fault that y'all, other teams couldn't do what we did, right?
Yeah,
The original
I
Dream
got-
Team
I got
members
to
said this.
respect it.
Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, those guys said the greatest basketball game ever played was not recorded.
Mm.
It was the Dream Team playing each other in the gym.
Yeah, I heard about
No
that.
cameras. They said it was the best basketball game ever played.
Yeah.
So when you get rid of all the marketing and all the rest of that stuff, and you just balling, and we won, I don't know what to say, bro.
That's what I'm saying. See,
I feel you. I feel you.
I can't say that. Y'all, I'm moving right along.
But
look, Dr. Rollins said she has her Lakers hoodie on today too. So
it's nice.
Listen,
But
Lil Boosie, get on the team. Get on the
Hey,
team.
I
Who do you like, Lil
bandwagon.
Boosie?
I ain't no bandwagon.
Who do you like? Well, you're a bandwagon hater. That's what they also have that side of it,
Oh
bandwagon.
yeah. Well, I mean, now, don't get me wrong. I don't hate on the Lakers, but I'm a fan of my Rockets.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Okay.
Rockets. I'm Houston Oilers. I'm Houston Texans. I'm Houston Astros. I'm Houston Dynamo. I go down the line. You know what I'm saying?
I can go down the line. I go get all my LA Dodgers, LA Rams.
There you go.
LA.
There you go. Yeah, you got to represent where you're from.
right.
Yeah, I have none of that. I'm an orphan.
Listen, as an orphan, you made a good decision with that hat you have on. That's all I have to say.
They made a good
job.
Hey, but once my mind is made up, I'm taking it to the grave. I've been a Laker fan through the good, the bad, the ugly. I've been a Dallas Cowboy fan through the good, the bad.
Ashley Collins in the building, right on time. Boo.
Ashley Collins, how you doing?
You a Heat fan, Ashley? Because she's in Florida. You a Heat fan?
Yeah, so.
Man. But she said.
But I will say this: I am a fan of individuals also, though.
You said what happened?
Yeah,
I said I am a fan of individual players also.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
I mean,
But you know,
John Morant is my favorite right now.
You said what?
I'm a bigger sports fan than I am a team fan. So, like, Lakers are my team, Cowboys are my team, and I have valid reasons for how they won my heart. But I'm a bigger sports fan, which is why I could maintain my status as a Dallas Cowboy fan even through the rough 20-something years we've had.
Oh, you talk about 20-something years. We've been rough for about 40.
Gotcha.
40, 50, almost 50 years.
Gotcha.
See, that's me.
Matter of fact, it has been 50 years. I'm thinking back to the 70s.
Right. Which one's been that bad? The football team?
Yeah, football.
Okay.
So let me ask y'all this. Ooh, this is good. What would make you not a fan of the Lakers? What would make you move? What would make you
okay? So I do have a story that can make me move. Okay. So I was a Rams fan growing up. Okay. Rams went to that other city, and when they left, I was like, I'm not following them. I'm a Californian. I like California teams, so I jumped on the Niner team. And yeah, I was young at the time,
right?
So it's still early in my repping teams phase, and so Niners ended up being good, and I like being a Niner fan,
right?
And then the Kaepernick situation happened. And I figured that any team that was as what's the word I'm looking for, liberal as any team ever. I mean, the city of San Francisco is one of the most liberal cities and everything else. that you could understand what Kaepernick was doing, at least. You
Right.
know, that he wasn't out there doing anything crazy. He was standing for a belief that ultimately became a mantra in the NFL.
Right.
And you know, they wear things on their helmet now. You see around their fields that they have things written on their fields.
Right.
And not even
Hey,
so.
Sam. Good morning.
So when we start thinking about like the thing that Cap was doing,
Right.
not a big deal, and then how they blackballed him. You know, people say, you know, he opted out of his contract. The man didn't have much choice. You know, and there could at least been a conversation. There could have been an understanding. There could have been some type of support behind, you know, just figuring out, because I mean, they support everything else, gay pride, this, that, and the other, right? And so it kind of rubbed me the wrong way as a team that you have this team in this city that could have did something different with this quarterback that took you to the Super Bowl. And you know, okay, yeah, people say, you know, well, his skills were going down. And we have players right now who have diminished skill level in the NFL as backups, as starters, as all types of things. And they can, it wasn't the skills. I'm sorry. You can make up any excuse you want. Oh, well, you know, you don't protest at your job. People protest at their job all the time. You know, there's just all these different things that happen.
Right.
And so I was like, I can't do this no more. I can't support this team. Right. Like they gave no indication of even being kind of into what he was saying or, you know, understanding. It was just kind of, now I will say that Cap, that he did one thing wrong in this whole thing. But I mean, if you're going to pick that one little thing, then that's a problem also. But he wore the pig socks, right?
Yeah.
And you know, that's just a line you might not want to cross if you want to keep your job, right?
Right.
But at the same time, it was one little thing. You know, people get fines for that. People get suspensions for that. People get, you know, talked to because of things like that. They don't get blackballed.
Right.
You know, and so that's the reason why, you know, so now if the Lakers were to do something like that, you know, something that to me is a bigger issue than sports,
right? Then
yeah, I'm out. And that's why I looked at that. It's a bigger issue than sports.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I think they made an example out of Kaepernick. When you got all them owners get together and be like, hold on, we got to nip this in the bud. Yeah. I mean, he could be the Martin Luther King of the NFL. We don't want that. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep these Negroes in place. Now, dumb it down a little bit. It's a lot of money when you get him standing for something, and then they start boycotting games or not buying tickets and this, that, and third. And then you get other players that's going to start sitting out games like, I don't need my game check this week. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on now. If you ain't on the field, we ain't got no game. We got to give money back to these fans. Right. Let's nip this in the bud. Let's make an example. Do what we say, or you don't play. And that's what they did to Kaepernick. And he didn't want to do what they say. Like, okay, as soon as you get out of the league, you'll never get back in the league. Right. So this is the example for all y'all going forward. We, like you said, Thomas Blackball, he was. He is the pitch. When you see Blackball, they got Kaepernick with his fro up there.
Look it up.
That's what happened to him.
Oh, let's see. I said, but shouldn't we separate the sport from the person's belief? One person doesn't represent the whole team and what it stands for.
Yeah, that's true. However, solidarity plays a role. Teamship plays a role. And if everyone is standing and you're kneeling, it sends the wrong message on public or national television. And that's what they had an issue with. And it obviously goes deeper than that based on what we saw. I'm just saying, the visual of it all was not a good look for the NFL. Definitely. And they were basically saying no one's above the shield.
Right.
No one. Nobody.
Interesting. All right, and you gentlemen, anything
real quick
make you
though,
move?
there's another star who did this, and he got blackballed.
Yeah.
And Mahmoud Abdul-Rahim,
yeah,
Rauf.
yeah, he got.
But he comes back. But you heard what he said.
What he
now.
said? What does he say now?
He says, "I was young, I was immature, and I could have done it differently.
Could have done it differently, but did they get a chance to do it differently?
No,
he did not get a chance to do it differently. But here's the thing: they tried to get at him. Then we all had a problem with it, you know. But he was so bullish in his position, kind of like what Kyrie has been today.
You see where he's about to do that?
Yeah, and so back then you didn't even have other players stepping up to the plate. You couldn't find another person in the NBA to stand with him. So he was out there on an island by himself. It was easy to blackball him.
Mm-hmm.
With Kaepernick, there were other players doing it, and there were even white players doing it.
Yeah.
But the only person that got blackballed was him.
Right.
Yeah.
But hey, after he got blackballed, with nobody else on their knee. Well, everybody started standing up and with hand on chest.
Right. Well, now there's a conversation around it, though. Yeah. You know, now you have, you know, things that, you know, that you could put on your helmet. You can represent a different way. There's conversation around it. This conversation should have started way before the pandemic, though, when, you know, we start seeing all these other things happening with George Floyd, you know, Ahmaud Arbery and everything else. These conversations could happen, because we can say this all day long, like, he took a knee. This isn't the place. You should have, you know, kept it separate. But why is it now accepted? You know, the knee may not be accepted, but the point is, you know, if you want to keep things separate, keep it separate and keep it that way, and don't switch up. But people switch back up. I know this is Freestyle Friday. I'm sorry about
that. I was just about to comment on the Kyrie Irving situation.
Okay, let's do that.
The way that the NBA has, well, I guess, gave him consequences for his personal beliefs or his personal stance is kind of somewhat similar to the Kaepernick situation, just in a different way. Instead of it being a physical motion on national TV, he went social on his own personal social media, but it's still something that he's representing the NBA.
Right.
And if the NBA say, hey, that's not tolerated, that's conduct unbecoming, even though it's in your personal life, you still represent the NBA. And him taking the stand like, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. Well, hey, you don't have to be in the NBA. You can be anti-Semitic, or you can promote this video all you want. We're not saying you can't. You just can't be a part of the NBA while you do it. So it's just something you got to. That's for all of us who working. Anybody who got a job. Right. If your job say, hey, you can't come in here with a muscle shirt on. You got to have sleeves on your shirt. Or you can't work here. You gonna go to work with a tank top on? I mean, it's common sense to me, though. But anyway,
listen. So opening that up, is it a personal preference? Do you represent a brand? You know, it's all of those as well. Like everything you do, how much of a company owns what you do? Like how much of a company owns your life? Because you sign contract.
Not even what it is, though.
You said what?
That's not what it is, though. Okay. It is those backdoor phone calls. Backdoor phone calls. That's a controversial.
Backdoor deal.
It's those back end phone calls, the private phone calls that says your bottom line is about to be impacted if you don't fix this.
Oh yeah.
The principle of it is irrelevant. Yeah. It's really just financial.
But it's how much you control. But the deal is like Pastor, you could not like something, right? And you could affect me, you know, but if my contract doesn't speak anything less, you know, different, you know what I'm saying? Like Or
Yes.
well, that's not in our contract. Like, you know, like if I'm doing something for you, like it doesn't matter what I believe because that's not in our contract. Like you may not like it. We're not gonna do another deal, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think
that's the point I'm trying to make. It's like you need to apologize for that.
right.
I don't regret what I said though.
Right.
This is how I feel. Why do I have to apologize? And this is how I feel.
Yeah.
He don't have to apologize.
Yeah.
Right. But
Like,
he has.
literally, I mean, he's a grown man. You can't make no grown man apologize.
Right.
All I'm saying is the people that write your check saying you ain't got to apologize. But if you want another check, I advise you to go out here and apologize in front of a camera and a microphone. But you ain't got to.
Slavery though.
We're not gonna force you to. We're not gonna put you in jail. We're not gonna put no gun in your head. But if you want another dollar from us,
you in my house now, Kaneem. Lil Boosie. You're in my house now. You don't have to respect me. It's not mandated that you respect me. However, if you're gonna live here,
yeah. Well, I mean, you welcome. You can voice your opinion. You could actually be the spokesman for this video if you would like to.
Right.
Well, I'm not. This is a free country, but I ain't got to pay you to diminish my product. You feel what I'm saying?
So here's the thing about Kyrie, though. Kyrie isn't for the whole video. He said that there's some things that he believes in there.
Right.
And, you know, when we talk about Semitism, you know, not anti-Semitism, but Semitism, he's going back to his belief is, you know, blacks were the original Semites. So how am I anti-Semitic? You know, he has his reasons for what he believes. Now you want me to believe different about my beliefs. And so it's not that he said that I'm anti-Semitic. I'm against Jews. I'm against, you know, I don't believe in the Holocaust and all these other things, because he's already come back out and said things about that. So he's done a part, but it's like now he has to tap dance. He has to really, you know, get all the way over. You know, you got to get all the way off the fence. You can't be, you know, next to the fence. You got to get over here in the parking lot, you know. And so I think that with Kyrie, it's interesting. I was having a conversation with Lisa yesterday, and we were talking about this, and I made a point about somebody who would post on their feed something about roots. Don't say nothing about it, just post roots. And I went into Twitter really quick just to see if people would just post something about roots without any context, or people who actually give context about it. And
no, we're talking about the movie, right?
Huh?
The movie Roots, the series.
I'm sorry, the movie Roots, Alex Haley's Roots, you know, and talking about slavery and all these other things and the propaganda behind all the way they make it look, right?
Right.
And everything. I mean, it was, you know, pretty accurate, but then at the same time, you know, there's still some stuff, right?
Right.
Right. So anyway,
I guess the question for me is what message would be sent if you posted the movie Roots?
If you posted it, a white person posted about Roots and just left it there with no comment.
No comment.
Like, what side are you on? Are you on the side of the slave trader, or are you empathetic with the black struggle?
Right.
We wouldn't know.
Right.
But you're white. Because you're white and you posted about this, then you must be for the slave traders. And like, you know, we just had an election in Oregon. 45% of the people in Oregon said keep the language about keeping slaves legal. 45% of their people in Oregon that voted, right? And so now you post this thing about Roots. What are you saying? Are you saying that slavery's still good and you should, you know, we should still have slaves? Is that what you're saying? You know, and that's kind of where Kyrie's getting caught up. He's getting caught up in this Ye stuff, right? And so Kanye does his thing, Kyrie does his thing, and now they're tied together.
I agree.
Are we of the mindset? And when you compare the posting of Roots versus what Kyrie posted, because you have to look at why each of these presentations were developed. Why were they made? There was a message as to why they were made. So I get what you're saying. All you're saying to me is it just promotes the idea of conversation, of dialogue.
Right.
Let's talk and ask why or what are your feelings about this instead of casting judgment because you did it.
Right.
Yeah.
And in the case of Kyrie, someone passed judgment.
Right.
They made a decision about him based on the posting, and Kyrie's response is, how can I be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I believe all that is true. I think it was more the after effects when asked the question about his opinion of the film. You know what I'm saying? And him giving his opinion after the effect.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, he's still a grown man. So I can't say what he should have did or what he shouldn't have did. But how I would have handled it.
Right.
Oh, my bad. Let me dumb it down. I keep my opinion, and won't voice it and have others to do it. But don't take my money away from me.
Gotcha.
But that's the issue. The challenge here. Here's real quick. Here's the challenge. It's not an isolated incident. There's a pattern of behavior that is perceived rebellion from Kyrie Irving.
Okay, so you said from Kyrie Irving, there's a rebellion.
No, I said perceived.
I mean, I know, but
there's been drama. There's been drama everywhere he has been, and so in the minds of some, you could say, "Oh, that's just Kyrie being Kyrie," right? But in the eyes of others, you're saying you need to reel this in before it brings a stain upon your entire organization.
But he kind of did reel it in. Once he saw that his money was affected,
right,
it was all good because he probably could have stood on that if he wanted to. But when they said your money is affected,
right,
he started making apologies. Yeah,
right.
I'm pretty sure he didn't want to. But the money said, hey, let's write this statement, put it on Instagram. Hey, let's go ahead and start. When folks ask me a question, let's be a little bit more apologetic because it's costing me millions and it's going to cost me millions in the future. And all I got to do is make a simple apology in order for me to get millions and keep millions and get, when your money is affected, it's make a difference. But because he was Kyrie, he didn't think his money was going to be affected. And then once they said, once the commissioner of the NBA was like, hey, they only doing it for 5 games, but we can do you for the whole year and you won't get paid.
What's
when you're making $20-30 million a year, that make a difference.
Did you hear Adam Silver's comments after his meeting with Kyrie?
Spit it.
Adam Silver says, I sat down with Kyrie. We had an extensive conversation. Nothing in me believes that Kyrie is anti-Semitic.
Right.
However, I leave it to the Brooklyn Nets to decide what to do. It's up to them. I have no issue with them governing their own team.
Right.
And I also have no issue with the steps that they put out for him to get back. But I don't
and that really comes, from a Jewish person. Jeff had posted where, he's a Jew, makes it seem like we're posers. Like that's to an extreme. Like you can't call people posers. It's like you can't call blacks, we're Americans. You can't call us anything other than Americans, right? So we can't call us posing. You're posers, in America, because there's just so many different things. My point about that is, he says it makes it feel like you are posers. No, if you're a Semite, you're a Jew, right. But don't negate the other side of what that looks like, where Kyrie's coming from.
That's a good point,
it's kind of interesting that, and I was gonna talk about that right there, that no one attacked Jeff Bezos, or not Jeff Bezos, but Amazon, for having this out there. But the reality is, Kyrie has his point. If Adam Silver can say, I don't believe that he's anti-Semitic, being a Jew himself, then you should roll with what they're saying. Like, this is the people who are clearly affected by this now, but the narrative is out there. And that's the problem with having narrative. When you create a narrative, regardless of what is actually happening, you will you'll go with the narrative if you don't do your own research, or if you're not willing to learn for yourself. Kyrie is, he has had his issues with, vaccination. And, everybody made him out to be a black sheep because he didn't want to get vaccinated. He has his reasons. How do you know he's not traumatized by some of the stuff he read about Tuskegee and all these other things, right? And so if we think about that and how much that is going on, we can't just look at, okay, in this country, there's been a lot of things that have happened historically. And you can't just take someone's belief and be like, he's making waves. Now, here's the other part about that money thing. Sponsors are going to pull their sponsorship. You think sponsors really want to pull their sponsorship from the NBA, from the NFL, from everybody else?
Right.
No.
Nike just canceled Kyrie.
So if people in the NFL, let's use this Kyrie Irving. If they say, Adam Silver says, I'm going to have a conversation with Kyrie Irving, I'll get back with you. Now we're going to shift the narrative. We're going to change the narrative because I don't believe Kyrie is anti-Semitic. Then they can come back and they can shift that whole thing, because no one wants to lose that NBA money. Nobody. NBA doesn't want to lose that money, but so are you going to get behind your players, or are you going to get behind the money? See, I said this a couple weeks ago on the show, the love of money is the root of all evil. So if you start looking at the love of money and how, we got to pay these bills, you'll do a lot of times you'll give up who you are for that. And again, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but there's a different way this can be handled.
Okay. I hear you.
I agree with that, bro.
So I feel like there's a lot of division, right? There's a lot of divide and then division of the division. Just like there is
Welcome to America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't, Mama Corey told me in my fairy tale dreamland, she, when I start trying to pull this stuff together, she was like, ooh, you living in the fairy tale land again. But I feel like we're not really having the conversations that matters or pulls us together. I feel like every conversation leads us down to more separatisms, more and more as we go down this rabbit hole. And Reese, I appreciate you wanting to be on. It's funny, I was going to add you, but then I was like, I don't, not sure, because Freestyle Friday, not sure we're going to go. And I had an idea that I kind of want to share as far as how can we, right? So how can we begin to, what I think Thomas might have said it, learn, and you got what's written in front of you, learn to understand others, or like, give me the phrase, give me exactly what it says. Let me see. Try to understand rather than to be understood, right? Try to, when is it that we're going to get to a space to understand? You should not right now. No. Oh, when are we going to get to a place to really understand what others people are saying, at the same time, not getting so much into our feelings where things get divided? Does that make sense? Because everything is such an emotional button. Going back, let's wrap it up where we talk about making banana pudding from scratch, right? Kaneem, shout out to Kaneem. He is not hardcore from scratch or box, but some people are, like me. Yeah, I've always seen it as not a pleasant thing to look at. Like the stuff that comes out of the box. What I've seen, not had Alicia's banana pudding. Side note. So
it's delicious.
Like, is he talking about his white banana? No, I'm not.
It's delicious.
So, but people get really passionate. But it's like, why? What you mad about? Why are you so angry? At this point, go ahead.
That's the operative word. Everybody's coming from a different place.
There you go, Jeff.
Right. And I was gonna say that's exactly what I was thinking while Thomas was talking. It's like, man, if people could just really listen without judgment, without casting,
right,
it would be better.
Right.
But I think that all of this is necessary for evolution, for improvement, because we will. My hope is that we can get there. Right. But, and I shouldn't say but, however,
there you go.
I still study the Bible, and I still understand who the Prince of the Air is, which is why it's important for me to continue to work on my side of the wall, in the words of Nehemiah. So I want to try to affect change where I am. I want to make sure that I'm not the one that's passing judgment. I want to make sure that I'm the one that's being open and receptive, even if I don't agree with someone's position, right? That's what's important. And if more of us can get there, then we're setting a better example for the next generation. You know, if we're on here and we can't get through a conversation, then we're not any better than the treatment of Kyrie Irving. Right. I'm not mad at Ye, Kanye. I'm not mad at Kyrie.
Right.
Because neither one of their behaviors is a surprise to me.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, they both might be marketing geniuses.
Right.
Kyrie could be sitting back at home saying, how can I stir it up today? You know, don't ask me if you don't want my opinion.
Right.
Right. We don't know. We don't know, because to me, we say, because Kaneem said Kyrie is grown. You're right. Kyrie is grown. He knows what's healthy and what's not healthy.
Right.
And he chooses to speak in the manner in which that's comfortable for him.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So that means you're willing to accept the consequences of your actions.
Exactly.
I can't feel bad when you know good and well there are people that have come before you and have said things that went the wrong way, right, according to the standards or the perceived standards of the NBA, and they've lost their opportunity.
Exactly.
So it comes with the territory.
Right.
Yeah.
Willing to accept that. You know, I think in this situation, there has to be a cultural competence also.
Yes.
Culturally competent when it comes to understanding, you know, the Jewish legacy and history and things like that. Culturally competent when it comes to looking at the Black plight and how we, you know, everything that Blacks have gone through in this country. If you think about like the conversation now, it's us against them, and it's about not being culturally competent in both areas, because now we have Kyrie who says something. Now people are like, well, this is like slavery, and you know, they're forcing him. I seen a meme the other day that was like, you know, they're beating him into, my name's Kunta. Toby. You know, and I'm laughing about it, but that's literally what people are seeing. It's like, right, what's the perception of what you're seeing going on here? Like, if you're going to work for me, you better fall in line. And then, you know, what does that look like? Because, you know, I know we got these multimillionaires making all this money, but, you know, people have in the past said this is like modern day slavery, but, you know, we're keeping you in check so that you can, well, let me say this, we're paying you all this money and you're the influencers of everybody else. So if we keep you in check, we keep them in check, right? There's that's
it. Know,
so that's it. There's no cultural competence that within everything what's going on, like what's being said, how you're treating Kyrie right now, you should be more mindful of that, because the visual of it. Then it was brought up, you know, Amazon's still selling the video, they're still making money. No one's canceling them. No one's saying anything. And they're, you know, and that reminds me of, and I'm gonna stop right here. That reminds me of crack and cocaine. Crack at one time was sentenced 100 times worse than cocaine. It's still sentenced worse than cocaine right now. Right. But you cannot get crack without cocaine. Why? Right. What's the, you know, and it's like, you should be punishing the cocaine. You'll get rid of crack.
Right.
You know, but the reality is, you know, it just doesn't make sense to me. So you should punish Amazon and the video goes away.
Right. Or at least slow down.
You mean to tell me we can bring this powder into the country and we can make all this money and these Negroes have figured out how to make even more money than we make off of this powder. They have figured out scientifically how to go and make more with less and get people even more addicted. Put them Negroes in prison and throw away the key. Because this is supposed to be our gig.
Right.
Here's the other piece that you said 20 minutes ago, Thomas. You talked about the abolishment of slavery and how that was on the ballot this year. And what it is involuntary servitude. Slavery. Yeah. My question,
slavery,
because we all talk about how can slavery be on the ballot for prison? Because we're talking about people getting locked up in prison and performing involuntary servitude. They're having to work without getting paid, but they're in prison.
Right.
That's not the issue. The issue is that you keep looking for minorities to put into the prison so that they can perform involuntary servitude. If you didn't have such a large population of minorities in the prison, if you didn't have what you saw in the streets, would this be an argument? Would slavery be in the conversation?
Yeah, 13th Amendment.
Right.
That's a question. Would it really be an issue? No. What makes it an issue is how many Black people are getting locked up in prison for whatever reason.
Right. Yeah.
But I think and I think some issues should go back to just human rights. It should be just a human right issue. And because the 13th Amendment, of course, we know, what it was formed for and what it's done, but it gets all that are put into the system. Now, granted, the percentage wise, we are higher, but it gets all that are put into the system. Same with, some of the areas that have police brutality. It may affect us more, but it affects everyone. There is the change that needs to happen is more of a human decency than just a racial partisan, if that makes sense. And I truly feel like if we can attack it from that perspective, it can close the gap of such a divide, if that makes sense. And I know, the Bible says, if you get slapped on one side, turn the other cheek, and it's those moments that you just I'm tired of getting slapped. And we always got to kind of dumb down and shift. Right. I know we coming, Mama Corey. I know we getting there. We need some joke. I know, but I just listen. This could
She means a lot to me because I would not co-sign this dad joke foolishness on Friday.
Hold on,
you mean a lot to me. That's the only reason I'm going along with this.
Hold on, Kadeem. This is
a whole other show that needs to happen, though.
Right.
It is, because the slavery thing is really a big deal.
Yes.
The language that the United States uses around slavery and in the 13th Amendment and all that is big. What's the language that United Nations uses? And, if you're going to be a part of the UN, there's some things that you have to follow. And, obviously the United States will crumble without the 13th Amendment. And that's my opinion, because you need the voluntary servitude, in order to even manufacture the things you manufacture and keep pace with the Chinas in the world and everything else. That's my opinion. I mean, I'm sure there's other things, but there's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, if you got in trouble in the military, let me ask you something. When you got in trouble in the military, you would get put on restriction. You couldn't leave the base. You couldn't leave the camp, couldn't leave the post.
Okay.
And you had extra duty.
Okay. You
would have to go do all the junk work, clean out trenches and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Go outside or clean the latrine and the bathroom. For those who don't know what latrine is, you'd have to do all that stuff that nobody really wanted to do. What you're saying is that could be considered slavery because you didn't want to do it, but you were forced to do it because you got in trouble.
Right.
When you're a young person, you get in trouble at home. You can't go outside. You get put on punishment. You get grounded. I don't care whether you're white, black, purple, or green.
Right.
You couldn't leave the house. You couldn't get on the phone. And you had to do extra chores involuntarily.
Right.
How different is prison? My point again, and I want to reemphasize this, is because you go looking for a certain demographic to put in prison to do the job. And if that was not the case, this would not be a conversation.
Agree.
Period.
Agree. If it was equal across the board, you know, the equality versus equity kind of sentiment that's going out there. I mean, that's a whole other conversation I'm not going to jump into right now.
Yeah, yes.
But the idea is, you know, equality and equity. And
that's it.
You know, when we look at the prison system, you know, we know that there's a way that you can provide equity to this country. They're just doing it the wrong way.
Right. Indeed. So we're going to change the world, guys. One conversation at a time. One conversation.
I like my banana pudding with bananas in it and pudding any kind of way.
Any kind of way. You don't ask you, Thomas. You're right.
Or scratch.
It doesn't matter. Box or scratch.
Man, give me my banana pudding. Listen, when people say, you know, what's your favorite dessert? I say dessert.
Yeah. I feel you on that.
Just give me some dessert.
All right, Pastor. Give us a good hot. I'm gonna give you 5. Give me a good hot.
Man, he gave a 5-figure discount. Oh, go ahead, dude.
Okay, here, this is for all the music people. This is for Kaneem.
Yes, sir.
AKA Lil Boosie.
All right, give it to me.
After an unsuccessful harvest, why did the farmer decide to try a career in music? Because he had a ton of sick beats.
Wow.
Yeah, I got
you went all the way back to Mississippi for that one, didn't you? Yeah.
Okay, here we go. My friend was showing me his tool shed and pointed to a ladder. That's my step ladder, he said. I never knew my real ladder.
Wow. We all up in Arkansas with that one. Ooh,
Why is it so cheap? Why is it so cheap to throw a party at a haunted house?
Wait, say that one. Why is it so cheap to what?
Why is it so cheap to throw a party at a haunted house? Because the ghosts bring all the booze.
Oh my God! Where we at? We in Idaho. We in Idaho. We in uncharted territory.
Idaho.
All right, last one.
Which days are the strongest? Saturday and Sunday, because the rest are weekdays.
Wow.
988. If you or someone you love is having a mental health crisis, we appreciate you guys for being here. Another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. We made it all week. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you stay connected. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576.
Saturday and Sunday.
Make sure you stay connected to us. We got some great things coming down the pike. Listen, when we're rolling into 2023
weekdays,
we got some amazing things happening. So stay connected. Appreciate my brothers being on. Thomas Cotton, I'm stamping him. He's not a brother. He's one of the brothers back on here. He's been sharing a lot with us. I appreciate him for being a part. Kaneem, aka Lil Boosie, appreciate you for being there.
Lisa, Miss Shirley, y'all asked for it. He gave it to you.
Really? Saturday, Sunday. Yes. Weekend. Wow.
There you go. I like that, Rollins. I like that.
So appreciate you guys for being a part. Pastor always rocking with me. Longest, his OG. Get the OG status. Mama Corey, appreciate you. Appreciate you for being here. All right. So we are gonna dig further to this conversation. Listen, let me just tell you, like, it's the partisanship that just drives me bananas. It's the divide that drives me bananas. I hate it. I hate it. Like real talk. Like I hate it because I try to listen to other sides and I hear them, but some sides so you're angry. Like, okay, so tell me why you really mad. What is it that is pushing your button on this human rights issue? You understand what I'm saying? And then sometimes from our side we push hard, and it's like, why are you so mad? Like there is a balance here. There's a balance, and what kills me, what's around us, is those that they capitalize on our partisanship, from media to politics. Us divided keep certain folk in office. Us divided keep certain media doing well. The division. Let's keep it 100. People get likes and views based on division. If we came on here and Reese got one of his buddies, like two guys, and I got Kaneem, or I got Pastor and Thomas on the other side, and I got y'all arguing for a whole hour, this room will be packed out. Y'all going back and forth. Nothing, no solving nothing. Just arguing back and forth. It does nothing. So I'm really pushing for some kind of resolve, some space where we can agree on. Somehow we can come together. Get on one accord. Not just as Black people, just as Americans. And I don't say that enough. Like just as Americans, can we find a way where we can heal, but not be disrespected? Find a way where we can come together and agree, that this is wrong and this is right. So that's it. That's my
I love that.
my editorial for today. So listen, we appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for being a part of all that we do. Right. That just people love stirring the pot. Love stirring the pot. Yes. So appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for supporting us. You could be watching anything. There's so much you could be watching, but you're here with us. All right. So look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, same time. Nope. What's tomorrow? Saturday? Nah, that's a lie. Monday. No, actually, I'm gonna say Tuesday because I might not be here this Monday. So Tuesday.
Wait. I got a problem. So I had to work on Veterans Day. Shout out to all the veterans. But you get to take Monday off?
Yeah.
Okay.
See that, Thomas? I say, yep. And
duly noted.
Sound very simple to me.
I'll let y'all know.
Rank has its privileges.
I'll let you guys know.
So, you know what? I'll share this with y'all before we go, and I apologize, AD, because as I've gotten older, I didn't eat a lot of sweets when I was young, but as I've gotten older, I've started eating more and more candy. And my wife actually came to me one day and was asking me, where are you getting all this candy? And I was like, well, honey, I always have a few Twix up my sleeve.
Bye, y'all.